All right, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm about to do an epic ride from my house all the way up into the mountains of Cañada de los Alamos, over the watershed, back down to the other side of the mountain, and back into the city, and all the way back to my house on one battery. So, I don't know, it's at least 25 miles, maybe 27. We'll see at the end of the day if I can make it. I have a feeling I'll make it right as I hit 5% battery. We'll see. First things first, I have got to deal with my squeaky suspension. All right, let's test her out. Let's test it out. Still creaky though. Wow. I mean, it feels good, but it's still something squeaky. Whatever, let's go ride. All right, well, that might have been an utter waste of time, but at least I ruled out the stanchions. I don't know what is going on, why it's so creaky, but I've had this issue on and off forever with the Apex. The first 700 miles were butter, never had to do a thing. I've re-lubed the linkages, I've re-lubed, you know, everything, every pivot, everything. And it doesn't really seem to help, so whatever, it feels fine. Just makes a lot of noise. Ooh, garage sale. Cul-de-sac kicker. All right, so we're gonna head up these mountains. Oh, there's snow on them. Check that out. We might get some snow, boys. This pad setup is a little goofy. You know, it's never perfect. When it is finally perfect, it's like, maybe your shoelaces are a little bit looser the next day or something. It's never just actually stays quite perfect. But that's just is what it is. All right, I need my pedal hardness down a little bit. Woo, look at that. That's the most fun way to get there. It's chilly! Get up to the mountains. My friends are actually skiing today, but because I bought this thing, I no longer believe in skiing. Man, I used to live the skier life. It was definitely my lifestyle. Like, I worked at Purgatory, Durango Mountain Resort, when I was a teenager. And that's how I got my ski pass. You know, you got a free ski pass if you worked up there. I loved it, man. I was totally all about that. But ever since these were invented, I don't know, ever since I tried it, it's just been like, why would I spend all the money on a lift ticket for $1,000+, you know, on ski boots that are $700, skis that are over $1,000, bindings, the whole get up, just so that I have to wait in line at a ski lift most of the time for the snow. And you know, don't get me wrong, I'm always happy when I'm on a set of skis, like even if the snow is shit, if it's rock skiing, if it's, you know, slush skiing, ice skiing, it's always fun. But it really is dependent on the weather and the tourist season. And you know, Santa Fe has a pretty actually decent ski hill, but we're also right next to Taos, which is phenomenal. But it's just like, you know, when you don't have all of the free time in the world of a single person with no kid, like, you have to make every moment count. And that's what's so awesome about electric unicycles, is everything is your ski resort. every little patch of dirt, every little trail, every road, you know, because these things are fast enough, you can carve it up. It's your skis, it's your motorcycle, it's your mental health hobby. It's everything packaged into one for, you know, 3,500 bucks. And that 3,500 bucks will get you more than one season, let me tell you. Oh, also you're saving money on gas. You know, you don't even need a vehicle if you live in a place with good enough weather. I mean, the weather never stops me from riding, but you know, you'll see me riding in snow. There's something about blizzards, man. I grew up in Durango, Colorado, where like there's something about like, see those ominous mountains out there, those ominous clouds, snow-capped? Like that makes me just want to get out there. And so, you know, back when I had my one wheel with that slick Vega tire, the street go-kart tire with no tread, I was out there on the main roads after a snow in the blizzard riding to work, just cause like, why not, dude? It's so fun. You know, everyone else is freaking out and staying home and calling in sick, but I'm just like, I love making the best out of it. To me, that's where the fun is making an adventure out of mundane daily tasks. Going to the grocery store. Oh, we're out of milk. I gotta go, you know, go grab some veggies, and, you know, we're out of, hop on the wheel and it becomes a blissful adventure. What do we got going on here? Speaking of waiting in line. All right, I gotta conserve some battery. I actually want to make it over this mountain. Become aerodynamic, slipstream. It feels good back at 100% pedal hardness. Like, on the trail, that last video I shot where I was out in the basin, where it was like all that red sand, I accidentally left it at 60% pedal hardness, and I was not like feeling it. Like going over that hard rocky terrain, it occurred to me halfway through the, you know, the run that, oh, maybe I left my pedal hardness down like fucking 60%, and I did. And it was just like, I had switched it back after I'd done all that recording. The next day I went back with my wife, and I was just like, oh, this is just, God, it just feels amazing. I feel like a god getting it back up to there. When you're off-road, you really want that pedal hardness up high. Because, you know, it's like, it's like a effort multiplier when you have pedal hardness up high. By that I mean it's actually like it decreases your effort that you have to put in. So like popping over rocks, doing bonks, things like that, getting up to where you're like needing to get up and over things or accelerate quickly out of a corner, like not on the street as much, but it definitely helps. Let's see, where do I want to go? Maybe, do we want to go all the way to Narnia? Like, kind of concerned, but we're gonna do it anyways. All right, let's shred. Cancel. Yeah! Gotta get my street legs back. I've been off-road for so long. Got these new pedal wedges and these new shoes and different pad placement. So it's like getting your confidence back. And you really can trust this tire on the street. It's pretty amazing. Like the difference between the street tire and this, sure, you have maybe 25% more lateral grip on the street with that TNT street tire that these come with. But this, it might actually be even less. The only difference is that this knobby will move around and wiggle and give you feedback. You know, you'll start to make noise. It's kind of nice. Like you have to have a steeper lean angle to initiate a turn with a knobby. But with this one, it's definitely more street oriented than dirt. So you actually, it's not too bad. Like, sure, it's definitely easier to turn and you can lean further with the street tire, but God, I'm supposed to be conserving battery, but this is just too much fun. So the knobbies are, I mean, this 244, Shingo 244 knockoff is actually pretty dang decent on the street. So like, as much crap as I give it off-road, I just accept it for what it is, which is a street tire with knobs. And the other cool thing is like, this knobby tire has a lot more external mass because of the knobs, and because of the weight of it, that it actually cancels out the speed wobbles, where the street tire will leave you hanging, man. If you're not, you know, thousands of miles in going fast like this, then you're probably getting speed wobbles about 30 some miles an hour. And that's normal. I want you to know, like, speed wobbles are a part of riding an electric unicycle. They will never, ever go away. You just have to learn how to ride through them. And there are some things you can do to mitigate it, but I'm sorry to say, there's not a single setting on any wheel that will even change how speed wobbles occur, when they happen, or if they do or don't, or more exaggerated or less exaggerated. It's just, the only thing that's going to help are more physical, like your tire pressure. A little bit lower tire pressure definitely helps. A knobby tire definitely helps, because you've got more gyro. Like I was saying, it has more mass on the outside of the wheel. When you're spinning up at 50, 60 miles an hour, it's like you gotta fight that gyro. So the wobbles are also being kept at bay basically by that gyro. And when you have a skinny little street tire, there's actually a lot less gyro. It's super noticeable. And so you'll get the speed wobbles transitioning from braking to accelerating, entering a turn. Especially when you're going downhill, braking and turning, that's when I get the most wobbles. Oh, excuse me. It's so nice and crisp out here. It's been such a warm winter that, woo! Everyone just looks at you like you're an alien. So funny. But most of the people are all like, you know, yeah, or woohoo, you know, when they see me. We're using a lot of battery out here. But like even there, you can see a little bit of a wobble. It just happens. You stop noticing it. So the biggest thing is people are always asking, what can you do about wobbles? There's not a damn thing you can do other than get better at riding and get more muscle memory and get your legs stronger and get your center of gravity lower. But if you have really long legs like me, it's sketchy to get your center of gravity low, because the more you bend your knees, the more the wheel moves between your, woohoo, what's up, woodpecker? The more your wheel can wobble between your legs. So I really like longer legs. Just means you got to work with your body and your wheel. Ergonomics of it just takes time. So just keep riding and, you know, don't die. And you'll get better to the point where wobbles are no longer really a concern at all for me, you know. I just sort of, if I get them, I ride through it. If they're really bad, you just get your ass down and slam on the brakes. And that'll just stop it. But hopefully that's not happening through a turn, because if it is, it's hard to do that. And there's a really cool video of Chooch on a Lynx hauling ass, carving up the canyon road in Colorado. And comes down this hill, and then a car comes around the corner, and I think that was like you know, he was just having so much fun. He wasn't quite giving himself enough of that safety margin space. Like, God, I've been there on a motorcycle, and he gets the wobbles because he's braking hard. I wouldn't say panic braking, but, you know, he gets the wobbles and then slides out and slams into a concrete barrier. Dude, like, such an epic wipeout. I just love watching other people ride 10 tenths and like live to tell the story, because, you know, these things are so capable. You know, I have a similar story, but on my supermoto, I was racing my friend Daoud, the guy I just interviewed, in the mountains here in New Mexico up by Chama. And howdy. And what was I saying? Oh, and we get on this narrow little canyon road with, you know, a creek on one side, like a river on one side, with like a 15-20 foot drop, and then a mountain on the left side. And like, there's no lines on the road. It's such a tiny road. And we're just cruising. I just get a little overconfident. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling myself, and I'm feeling my bike. A couple hours into the ride, and, you know, he's got this big 1000cc BMW R1000 SS or whatever those are called. Yeah, I've got this little DRZ 400 supermoto, and I'm like, now's my chance, because he's a way better rider than me on motorcycles. And so, you know, he's got that big heavy bike with weird tire. I think he had some weird tire on it that was shitty. Anyways, I had my super racing slicks on my super hot rod, Keihin carburetor, epic DRZ 400 supermoto. I was just in love with that thing, and I was feeling it. And I decide to freaking pass him and just push it all the way. Oh man, there's some mud here. And so I'm going, feel like a god. And then this big old Tacoma comes around the corner, this like left-hand corner. And I'm pitching it in, like really just getting low, and there's nothing I could do. So I don't remember what happened, but I just remember the bike sliding out because I leaned over too far and was braking into a turn. I missed the Tacoma, but I slid off of that 15 foot, 20 foot cliff that had like this metal grating on it. You know, it's like a chain link fence it's like a chain link fence wires, but it holds up the side of a mountain. You ever seen that? And well, let's see here. So that was all along this cliff that I slid down. And there was like, you know how on the top of a chain link fence, it's like crossed like that, and it's kind of like barbed wire? Well, that caught through my glove, and I have a scar here on my thumb from where it like tore into my glove. But man, that's it. I slid into the creek, climbed right back out, really just like scratched my ankle, and had that like deep cut on my thumb pad, and that was it. I was able to ride home and tell the tale. Of course, that was before GoPro or anything. I mean, I'm sure there was GoPros, but I didn't own one. And but yeah. Oh, and the coolest part that makes me believe in angels is that my bike, there was one sign on that whole fucking road, I swear to God, and it was on that turn. It was like some sort of, I don't even know what the sign said. And that sign, my bike slid into it, and the very tip of the tail where the brake light is bounced off that pole and spun, and then it kept the bike up out of the river and on the road. So I climbed back out and hopped back on. By the time I'm crawling back out, Daoud has turned around. Or no, he's pulling up. By the time I'm crawling out, Daoud is pulling up on his BMW, and he just sees my bike, and he's like, oh, well, he's dead. But then he sees like my arm, like classic action movie style, just grab onto the top of the rock wall and pull myself out. Dude, there were so many close calls back in the day when I was really young and dumb. But that's just, I don't know, I guess before my prefrontal cortex was fully formed. I mean, a lot of you are watching this and you're like, dude, your brain's still not fully formed. Look at what you're writing. Fair. That is fair. But I don't really get hurt anymore. And that's really nice, because I got a family, got a baby, and I don't need to go insane. Like, I'm not trying to prove anything which is like why I haven't done any races. You know, I haven't done any electric unicycle races. Not like that's the most dangerous thing. I mean, you get suited up, you're fine. I just haven't really been super interested in like trying to prove that I'm the best. But it would be really freaking fun. I definitely will sooner or later here. Especially once I get my wheel dialed in to the point that I really feel confident and just love it. Oh yeah, there's a lot less stiction after doing those, relubing it. So it didn't get rid of the noise, but it does feel buttery. This is my favorite place where I've been taking my friends out. My One Wheel New Mexico group. We started when I was on my one wheel like 2 years ago, and we just started coming out here doing these loops. And there's just so much epic stuff out here. It's like a perfect 9-mile loop, which is like all the one wheel can really handle. So we come out, some days I'd bring like an inverter and attach it to my car, and we'd like charge up for an hour with our hyperchargers and then do another lap. But most of us are like married and have responsibilities, so we can only do one lap. But it would freaking save my life, or at least my week, because I get that mental health fix of getting out in nature, shredding with the homies who all have the similar strange autistic obsession with self-balancing weird things. And it's like, it's so cool, to have a community of like-minded people who also like to shred. And I just am so grateful, to live in such a wonderful place, and to have all of you. If you guys are watching this, I fucking love you all. If you guys are watching this, I freaking love you all. You're a huge part of my network and fulfillment and happiness and community. So thank you for being a weird autistic weirdo like me, for being a badass and riding with me. Woo! This is some steep, muddy, snowy stuff. Oh yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I think there's just something about me that really requires intensity of engagement. Like, I need to have perceived risk in life. I need to have adrenaline. I need to have something that puts you in the flow state. And I think there's, some sort of Buddhistism about this, or Zen-ism, where, you devote 100% of your thought to something, and that's like a really enlightened state. And I really get that from the electric unicycle, even more so than my motorcycles, because, you could get it from your race cars and your motorcycles, but there was always just so much more danger involved with those, crazy, all of my race cars and my motorcycles. They're called donor cycles for a reason, but I personally haven't had any, like, mentionable crashes on electric unicycle. I will say though, the one wheel, man, I crash every time I ride that thing. I've rung my bell so many times, and it's just inherently 10 times more dangerous than an electric unicycle. So if you guys are like watching this and you're a one wheel rider and you're like, you haven't quite graduated to electric unicycle, I am giving you permission to realize that it is way better. You might not want to, you might be really cozily, securely ensconced in your little community like I was, where it's like, oh wow, look at this, I can pay $600 for another ½ inch of rim space on, get the Float Life hub, and then, get the Thundercat tire, and, I've got the big tire gang with the 5-inch hub, and, the amount of money to performance increase you get from a one wheel is negligible compared to the fact that I can get this for the same price as a GTS. And it's got 10 times the range, 10 times the power, 10 times the versatility, 10 times the fun, like 10 times, and 10 times the safety. That's what I'm trying to say. It's literally safer and more fun, the same price, better in every way. And like, I'm a skier, but I started as snowboarding as a kid. I snowboarded from like age 9 to 15, and then from like 16 to forever, I've been skiing, and I never went back. It's that kind of thing. Whereas like on a snowboard, you have one edge. On skis, you have a two edge, you're facing forward, your body is fully ergonomic. Sure, snowboarding feels like really cool and there's nothing like it, you know, and you look really cool. But with skiing, you can utilize the full potential of your human form, you know, and that's exactly how it is with electric unicycles, only exponentiated, because you have this big wheel and you have suspension and you have a gobs more power and battery and capacity. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be too muddy. Shit, I didn't realize, but like the rain I got last night was snow out here, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait for the watershed. Or maybe I just fucking send it anyways. No, that would be silly. Pretty crazy how well this thing handles in the snow and the mud. Like, and this Apex is really waterproof. I will say though, the one thing about the Apex, not the one thing I always say, the one thing about the Apex, you know, there's so many one things, but probably the biggest issue in my opinion is the headlight not being waterproof. Like, I'm a guy who rides through water, and it has nothing to do with like having that extra, like not having a fender in front. Like the headlight should just be waterproof. And yeah, a lot of the water comes from underneath, from the wheel, kicking it up. But really, it's like if it rains and you're riding in the rain, even a light drizzle, it'll hit that headlight and your headlight will like start freaking out, and it'll send the wheel into limp mode, and then you're stuck. So I really recommend doing what I did, which is to, let's see if you can see it here. I put like liquid electrical tape around all the seams, which is why it looks so ugly and dirty. But ever since then, it's been totally waterproof. Fingers crossed. Today is one of probably the biggest tests I've done on that. I mean, when I say the Apex needs a lot of maintenance, you can see why. For me, that is especially true. Look what I put it through. But I believe that's what it's meant for, dude. I believe that I've never treated my cars kindly. I've blown up so many engines I can't count. Like, I just believe that that's what they're meant for. Ride hard, maintain it hard. All right, this is the sunny side. We're gonna do this. Last time I was out here, it was so cool. This guy found my wallet. I had been riding out here with my friend like a couple days before, and then I came out again, and I ended up stopping to say hi to this guy. And if I hadn't stopped, I'd never got my wallet back, because he had a dog, and I just wanted to have that positive association with the dogs. And he ended up talking. He's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I found this wallet. Is this yours?"
How you doing?
Oh, dude, excellent, man.
Yeah?
I just don't like to go by fast because sometimes they feel like, oh, it's scary.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. How's it going for you?
Good. Just checking. Is that yours?
Yes. How did you...
Yeah, because it was right in the middle of the trail. I mean, one of my dogs went up and sniffed it. I'm like, what's that?
Got a whole crew that comes out every Sunday, and we like to make sure that dogs are really not afraid of them.
I just love that synchronicity, man. Especially when things come back to you that you've lost. It just makes me feel like I'm at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people. I get a lot of that on this wheel. I don't know if you believe in that kind of stuff, but I surely believe in synchronicities. Normally we can shred this, but it's a little sketch. Woo! Oh, landing in snow is hilarious. Got the hero dirt. Yeah. Fine line between mud and hero dirt. Woo! Whoosh. Whoa! Oh, big drop. New Mexico, man. It is the best place to become a fast rider quickly. Whoa. Ah, this tire's really hooking up right now. It feels good in the mud, in the wet, soft dirt. Whoa. But the rain does expose a lot of the big rocks, unfortunately, that the ATVs that come out here cover up with all their bop, bop, bop. So I actually really like it when the ATVs get out here and tear it up. It's nice to get on this after La Bajada. Gives me faith in New Mexico that there's rideable trails. Whoa, that's a big ass rock. That's new. Okay. Maybe I just forgot about it. Whoa. Whoa, that's some mud. Look at that. See, I wouldn't be able to take these turns with any other wheel because of the pedal height. You need to just be clipping on rocks when you take a steep turn like that. Whoa. Whoa. Switch hands. Oh, yeah, that's, turn around. Okay, starts to get smoother here. Whoa! My legs are burning, bro. Woo! Can't stop, won't stop. I like to stick the wheel in the groove there and really lean into the turn. It's nice. Oh, you know, we'll get that grip. Oh, yeah, it's a good workout, man. This is like so amazing, the soft dirt. Oh, until you hit mud. Woo! Oh, legs are literally on fire, bro. All right, this is like my favorite part. Oh, except there's mud. Sand. Mud. I gotta get a different tire so I can start talking about different tires. You guys are probably so sick of me vlogging about the stock tire. Oh, there's always snow in this corner. Looks like some one wheels have been out here. I think I know who you guys are. Wow, bottom out. That was the first bottom out of the day. Whoa! All right, keep it focused. Man, slipping. Okay, come on, stay upright. Woo! Watch out for the mud. Never know. Yeah, it's ruining some of my favorite turns. Thank God that was there. Not braking hard enough for that turn. And finish line. Oh, so good. Oh, I like to shred up this steep part too. Oh yeah. Tight shoes equals more control, baby. Oh yeah, that's just like, I'd have been able to shred so much faster on that last part if I had tightened up my shoelaces. But that's the thing, you gotta get your setup perfect. You want that last 10% of control. And and back down. Rain feels nice. Fifth trap. Some tire tracks here. Someone do something? Oh no, we're good. Nice little drop here. Woo! Yeah. I love shredding to the point where your heart rate is just elevated and you're sweating and getting a real workout. Manhandling the wheel, forcing it to submit to your direction. Come on. Crazy how much faster I'd be without this camera, but still feels pretty fast. is my favorite. We call it Narnia, dude. It's just infinite fun in every direction. This part is nothing like New Mexico. It's actually a smooth trail. Whoa! I hit the jump. Woo! It's not just the leg muscles, it's the low back. At least for me, with my body shape. Like constantly bending over to get my gravity low and over the wheel. Legs are on fire. Woo! Either hit that and then hit this bank. Oh, I missed it. All right. Oh, I like this little gap up here. Let's see if it's still doable. It's kind of like a step up gap. Shoo! Oh, we made it back to the parking lot where we usually meet up. Oh, heck yeah. All right, well, we got super low battery, no battery bars left, and we're just gonna try to creep on home. We're gonna have to go the back way. It's actually a more fun way. Oh, dude, it's beeping at me. It's not happy. I am probably at 5% battery with 4 miles to go. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I kind of have a feeling it's gonna work out, especially if we just go slow. I should slow down even more. And basically just, oh dude, she's not happy. She's like, why are you still riding? Like, this is not good for my cells. But yeah, I'm just gonna go the back way, the way with all of the like off-road and back roads and, you know. Oh, but while we're still riding, look at that view. Look at that. Freaking beautiful. I mean, I don't know, 30 miles an hour actually is probably too fast. It's probably using up a lot of battery. If I had my app out, it would tell me like exactly what my wattage to mile efficiency is. That's EUC World, the app. It's a good app. I paid for the premium. It's kind of cool, you know, to actually see the real-time data, how much you've used. Like, say you have a 2700 watt-hour battery, you can see it's used exactly 2400 of those 2700, and you've got 300 watt-hours left. So you can kind of gauge realistically the range. Now, I don't think you'll actually get the full 2700 actually. Like, I think that's if you drain the cells really, really low. But man, oh god, dude, god, my wheel is so unhappy right now. Hopefully it's mostly downhill though, and I think if we stay, don't go too fast, we might actually make it, dude. Oh, I've never heard that before. Yeah, that's low battery. That's straight up low battery. I wonder, you know, I think there's like a low power mode on this thing that lets you push it a little further to let you get home. I just got BT low warning. Battery low, I think. Let's see if I can change it. Okay, I am at 0% right now. The truth is that just 3,000 miles later, this battery isn't what it used to be. I am at 0% according to the app, because I feel like I used to be able to do that. It's letting me go now that I put it on low battery mode. I'm gonna go really slow and try to just creep home. It's still beeping though. I'm literally at 0% right now. I don't know. I've switched it over into low battery mode in EUC world, and I don't know if that does anything, but it says basically it lets you use more of the battery and it increases your range. Now, it's really not good for your cells, but in a situation like this, once in a blue moon, like, I think it's okay. You know, we still have a couple of miles. I don't know how it's gonna happen. We're going 21 miles an hour. But I mean, I think that did something, because it was literally just tilting back and saying battery low, and it wouldn't even let me ride before. And now I'm at least able to just creep on home. But you really lose efficiency when you're going fast. And I was really hauling ass. I think it might not be that my battery's wearing out. I might just be getting faster. That's probably what it is. Like, I never used to ride 60 miles an hour. And now every time I get on it, I hit 60. And that is where you eat up the battery at the high speed. It's using all of what's called field weakening. And that basically what that does is it uses extra current in order to weaken the magnetic field so that there's less internal resistance in the motor from the magnets, in order to act as if it's a higher speed motor. And you, instead of having to have more voltage to overcome that magnetic field, you just use field weakening and have, like, say, like a lower voltage. Well, I can't believe I'm saying 151 volt battery is low voltage, but these days it kind of is. I mean, that's probably like right in the middle of where that's like normal. If this thing was like 220 volts, you know, you wouldn't have to use field weakening, and it would be so much more efficient. You could probably double your range on the street with the same battery capacity, just because you're not wasting so much energy using field weakening, pushing past 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, riding through the beeps, you know, 90% duty cycle, above 80%. And so I don't know if this light's ever going to change, because it doesn't sense my wheel here. I'm not big enough of a cage. I'm not a cager. I'm gonna just let her get over. We're blocking her way, but I don't know why the light's not changing. Oh, there we go, yellow light. All right, see if we can make it home. Have you guys heard what's going on with alien rides? I don't know. Last I heard, thanks to everyone who put a comment into the ITC, I heard that it's postponing it, and less likely now for them to be able to follow through with their complaint. And I don't know if you know what's up. Some of you guys are a lot smarter than me in that area. You actually do a lot more research. So let me know in the comments what's actually going on here, because, man, that's gonna be a big change. Like, if we go from this epic world we're in right now, where every 4 to 6 months we get a new wheel that basically doubles the performance of the wheel before it, to basically what Future Motion, for example. If you don't know what Future Motion is, it's the one wheel company, you know, the plank, like you're skateboarding with one wheel between your legs versus being on an electric unicycle where you're like skiing. They patented the one wheel design, and I mean, they kind of invented it, so it makes sense that they would patent it. But what that led to is you getting a new wheel every 4 years, and sometimes that wheel was a massive downgrade over the previous wheel. Oh no, we're getting super low pushback. Oh, we're so close though. Maybe 2 miles. I'm getting tilt back like crazy. But what I'm saying is, what Future Motion did is, like, they came out with what's called the XR. Now, that was the extended range or extra rad version of the Plus, which was basically the coolest one wheel. The Plus was super small, super awesome, charged in 20 minutes, and like it didn't have a ton of range, but that's not what it was about. It was about being a hooligan. So the XR gave you all the same things, but double, minimum, more than doubled the range at the cost of, you know, a little bit longer charge time. But that was dope. 2018, I bought one immediately. I was like, oh, it's got the extra range. I can actually get places here. I'm going to spend my hard-earned, you know, young 20-something-year-old $2,000 on that. And it was epic, changed my life. But because Future Motion owned the patent, they didn't have to do anything. They just sat on their asses, didn't do any innovation. And then like 4 years later, they came out with this bullshit called the Pint. And it was basically just a marketing strategy to sell to people who weren't real riders. They just wanted to dabble in it. It was like a miniature version of the XR with half the range, and like it went way slower. It had like less power. Like it just was, it was not cool, man, because we were so excited. And then we waited another couple of years, and what did they do? They came out with the Pint X, which basically gave you half of what they took away from you from the XR, which is the range. Not even the same range as the XR, but almost the same range as the XR and the smaller platform of the Pint wheel. And that was another huge, oh shit, I'm tilting back at 15 miles an hour. Okay, it's telling me, dude, you gotta get off me. Hey, we might make it though, I feel bad. And so you had to deep throat that shit because you didn't have a choice. The freaking Pint. Ugh. I stopped so many people from buying a Pint. I was just like, just wait for the next. And then after that, a couple of years later, they came out with the disgusting GT, which was cool because it had a ton of range, but it would just hard tilt back, way more nanny features, stopping you from having fun. You couldn't go more than 20 miles an hour because the nose would just lift off the ground and make you do a wheelie. Whereas the XR, I could ride around literally at 26 miles an hour. Not that that was smart, but the nose, you could set the settings to tilt the nose down so that when the tilt back kicked in, it kind of became level, and it was so nice. So it just got worse and worse, more limiting, kind of just communism from the start. Like, you will do what we say is deem is correct. Now, with the EUC world, we have all these different manufacturers and companies, and you know, we don't have one person saying you have to pay the tax, 40% tax to us because we have the patent or whatever, or basically saying that we're the only people who can have it. Alien Rides is going to fuck that all up if they succeed. So I'm, you know, so we're gonna make it so that instead of every 4 to 6 months, we get a new awesome wheel that's safer, faster, stronger, better, and you know, even just as affordable. It's gonna be less affordable, it's gonna be less fun, and honestly, it's gonna be less safe because all of that innovation will be stunted, including safety innovation. And you know, if people have to pay a huge fee to these people who own the patent for, you know, shin-based power pads, which is what all EUCs require that are over the size of an M10-4, then it's going to completely, then there's a lot of companies that aren't going to be able to survive that, you know? I mean, I don't think there are hardly any companies that could survive, you know, having to pay 40% more than they already are for, oh shit, I'm tilting back and it's a red light. Dude, I can't do, it's not even letting me go 10 miles an hour now. Oh my God, I don't know if we're gonna make it. That's terrifying. The light was changing. I had to keep going slower and slower through the intersection. Beep, beep. All right. Well, I hope I don't damage the cells too much. I don't even want to look at my phone. I've been at 0% for over like a mile. Yeah, like I was saying before I got tripped up on the intersection, like I don't think there are any companies that are going to be able to handle surviving that kind of attack. So I don't know what the hell. It's just such a shitty thing, what Alien Rides is trying to do, because they're terrible at business. We all have to suffer. You know, it's like, thank God there are enough of us that were vocal about how displeased we were. Keep going a little further. Man, if I make it, I'm going to be so surprised. Oh, dude, it won't even let me go 8 miles an hour now. It's tilting back at 8. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we're so close. Okay. Okay, well, it is still letting me go 5 miles an hour. So it's kind of cool. Like that low battery mode will let you limp at the speed of smell, but like it's not gonna, like oh god, I can't even balance going this slow. All right, I'll probably have to just call my wife, have her pick me up, or Uber or something. Oh, dude. Oh, well, just tell me to get off. Don't just let me not even go 3 miles an hour. All right, that's it. I'm calling my wife. Thanks, babe. Thank you so much. I was so close.